Good day, everyone. Before we proceed to our formal discussion, let's play the game first. So, the name of the game is Guess the Picture. If you want to answer, just write it in the chat box and wait the time, and the next picture will proceed.
These are the answer. The first is globalization, the second is culture, the third is religion.
Thank you for your cooperation. Let's proceed to the formal discussion.
Good day, everyone, and good day, ma'am. In behalf of my group mates, we are the group 4. Our topic is all about the chapter 4, A World of Ideas. Full of contents, we have global media cultures, various forms of global integration, dynamics between local and global cultural production, globalization of religion, globalization affects religion, practices, and beliefs, the impact of globalization, what is religion nowadays, role of religion today, role of religion in promoting world of peace, the rise and fall of ISIL or ISIS. Good morning, my name is Angel Moore. We discuss at chapter 4, A World of Ideas. So, ideas are thoughts or collection of thought that generate in the mind. Ideas have been an integral part of globalization. All of the changes in our surrounding were brought by our ideas. So, global media and culture. Globalization entails the spreading of various cultures and ideas. People who travel the globe that teaching and preaching their beliefs, so relies on media as the main conduit for the spread of global cultures and ideas. So media a means of conveying something such as channel of communication with the technologies of mass of communication. So how does media cultures take a part in the process of globalization? So we have 5. So first, the contemporary mass media technologies such as satellites, televisions, and the internet have very important impact in the cultural globalizations and to mutually independent way. So we have media provide an extensive transitional transmission of cultural products. So it is refers to cultural products like music, fashion, arts, and film. So examples, rise of Korean pop culture that is now popular across the world, and Hollywood movies that inspire local producers. Media contribute to the formation of communicative networks and social structures. Examples, transitions of music genre all over the world. So, mass media makes possible the concept of celebrities. These media cultures take a part in the process of globalization. So, number 2, the rapidly supply of media products from international media culture present a challenge to existing local and natural culture. So, example, Hollywood movies versus Asians movie. Number 3, the volume of supply as well as the vast technological infrastructure have considerable impact on local patterns of cultural conceptions and possibilities for sustaining an independent cultural production. Example, Asian designers cannot preserve their culture since they always try to adopt the new ideas from Western trends. So, number 4, global media cultures create a continuous cultural exchange in which crucial aspects such as identity, nationality, religion, behavioral norms, and the way of life are continually questioned and challenged. Example, adaptation of Western lifestyle and trends. So, number 5, global media promote a restructuring of cultural and social communities and support the creation of new communities. So, example, media such as a press, radio, and TV is important information of communities. So, communities such as the groups that are concerned in particular issues. Forms of global integration. So, global integration is not a new phenomenon in today's contemporary world. Trade took place between distant civilizations even in ancient times. So, 3 factors that have affected the process of economic globalization. First, improvements in transportation and communication technology. So, these have reduced the cost of transporting goods, services, and factors of production, and communicating economically useful knowledge and technology. So we have number 2, taste of individuals in society. This is have a generally but not universally favored, taking advantage of the opportunities provided by declining costs of transportations and communication through increasing economic integration. So we have number 3, the character of pace of economic integration. So this had been significantly influenced by public policy, although it is not always in the direction of requesting economic integration. Thus, technologies, taste, and public policy each have important influence on the pattern and pace of economics in its various dimensions.
Morning everyone, my name is Christine Francis Nado. My report is about the dynamics between local and global cultural products. So cultural globalizations is the extensions and the intensifications of social ties through the global transfers of ideas, meanings, and values. The widespread consumptions of the cultures that have been spread via the internet, popular culture, media, and worldwide travel characterize this movement. Culture have always emerged as a result of the interactions between regional changes and outside influences. Warriors, traders, and explorers, for instance, introduced their cultures to the world, but also absorb influence from the people of nations they met. We only begin to observe the rise of global culture after World War II, progressively displacing and competing with elements of local culture. This is because this influence was the first accepted and encouraged. Many people found attraction and saw value in the exotic way of life. Fashion, music, and literature, blue jeans, rock and roll, and comics books, and chewing gum. The process of purposefully incorporating features from other cultures into cultures first began. At the same time, a global year, a synthesis of original practices and traditions from diverse locations emerged. This progress was significantly accelerated by the radio and televisions. So the internet emerged later. So the two things cause in a shift our perspective, of course. First, the actual perceived bad effects of a foreign influence on local life, such as identity and employment loss. Second, and the politicians who began highlight and detrimental effects of globalizations and internalizations of regional systems. Humans' prosperity is the mostly ignored and terrible aspect of the past. Their penchant for straightforward communications, when combined, led to the emergence of the new populist tendency and a friction between the local and global protagonists and cultural level. So, traditional local cultures are recovered as a result of a growing rejections and alien culture aspects by brothers and segments of the people. However, there wasn't fresh local culture output going. It was an attempt to remain. So, the rise, spread, and fall of the Islamic State. So, the aid of the Islamic State, also known ISIS or ICL or Daesh. So, ICL stands for Islamic State Iraq and Levant. Held about a trade of Syria and 40% of the Iraq by December 2017, it had lost of 95% of its territory, including its two biggest properties, Mosul, Iraq's second largest city, and the northern Syria city of Raqqa, its nominal capital. The following is a timeline often rise, spread, and fall of the Islamic State. So the remains of Qaeda in Iraq, or IQI, and regional branch of Al-Qaeda established by Abu Musab al-Zarqawi in 2014 gave rise to the Islamic State, also known as ISIS or Daesh. After the influx of American forces into Iraq in 2017, it vanished into obscurity for a while, but in 2011 it started to resurface It used the escalating URIs in Iraq and Syria during the ensuing years to launch assaults and enlarge its forces. So the group changed name to the Islamic State of Iraq in Syria, ISIS, in 2013. ISIS launched an offensive on Mosul in Tikrit in June 2014. On June 29, ISIS leaders Abu Bakr and Baghdadi announced the formations of the caliphate stretching from Aleppo in Syria to Diyala in Iraq and renamed the group of Islamic State. A US-led coalitions began airstrike against the ISIS in the Iraq on August 7, 2014 and expanded the campaign to Syria the following month on October 15. The United States named the campaign Operation Inherent Resolve. Over the next year, the United States conducted more than 8,000 airstrikes in Iraq and Syria. ISIS suffered key losses along Syria's border with Turkey, and by the end of 2015, Iraq forces had made progress in recapturing Ramadi, but in Syria, ISIS made gains near Aleppo and still firmly held Raqqa and other strongholds. So in 2015, ISIS expanded into a network of affiliates in at least 8 other countries. It branches supporters and affiliates increasingly carried out attacks beyond the borders of its called caliphate. In October, ISIS Egypt affiliate bombed a Russian airplane, killing 224 people. On the November 13, people killed and more than injured in series of coordinated attack in Paris. And 2006, government pledged support. ISIS killed at least 4,000 people at nightclub Orlando, Florida. So by December 2017, ISIS Caliphate had lost 95% of territory, including its 2 biggest property, Mosul, Iraq, second the largest city of the northern Syria city, Iraq, its nominal capital, and the Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi declared a victory over the Islamic State in Iraq on December 9, 2019. But ISIS was still inspiring in carrying out attacks all over the world, including New York City. In the 2018, the focus of the campaign against ISIS is shifted to eastern Syria, where the U.S. backed coalitions of Syria, Kurds, and Arabs, known as the Syria Democratic Forces or SDF, gradually captured key ISIS positions. So the ICD is briefly suspended for offensive in November 2018 after Turkish attacks in Kurdish position. Advert attention on December 14, the SDF captured the town of Hajim's fall, reduced ISIS territory to few villages along the Euphrates River near the Iraq border. Of the mainstream media narrows often misplaced focus. It's not surprising the most Western believers that religion's extremism is primarily a problem of Islam, but fighting in Syria and Iraq is not the only ethnic or religious conflict underway. Why ISIS is spreading around the world? Because they want to colonize us. They are anti-government, refusing to obey the government law. They want their laws get to be obeyed.
Good day everyone, my name is Layam Kanancha, and this chapter we will going to explain about the globalization of religion and how globalization affects religious practices and beliefs. But first, if you want to trip around the world, did you know that it is divided into two, the Western and non-Western? People in the West are called secular, where there is no religion. And the non-Western, people who believe religion, which they associate religion with politics and others activities. And the rest of them are said ready to kill in the name of religion. How cool it is. Before that, we're going to define what is globalization. We all know that globalization is interconnectedness and interdependentness among countries and exchanging the products and goods and services among countries. However, religion can be divided into three concepts. First is involved the idea of transcendence. The second is relate the sacredness and holiness, and the third is concerns how it relates people to ultimate condition of existence. Globalization of religion. The relation of religion to globalization is there's the way in which globalization flattens out cultural differences, erodes local customs, beliefs, and spread a secular capitalist way of life that at odds with religion of all sorts. The important aspect between two, to see them only as ghosts misses some of the complexities of their interaction not only in the past but in the postmodern world as well. So, the elements of this historical pattern can be founded in Buddhism, Islam, and other faith religion. So, if you have questions how globalizations affect of religious practices and beliefs, you must keep on watching. According to Peter L. Berger, who supported the claims of secularization, he withdrew his support to secularization in 1968, stating that by the 21st century, religious believers are likely to be found only in a small sects huddled together to resist a worldwide secular culture. But did you know that because of the globalization, different platforms were utilized to strengthen one's connection, especially in proclaiming the word of God? For example, the exploration of Ferdinand Magellan in the Philippines. Before exploration of Magellan, Islam is the first recorded monotheistic religion in the Philippines. But because of globalization, Magellan spread the Christianity in the Philippines by the use of exploration around the world. Globalization have influenced how the community responds to the religion and beliefs. The cultures and beliefs in certain countries changes because of globalization. In our generation today, there's a lot of tools that can be used for communication. For example, the technologies. Just imagine social media, the possibility of any religion to spread beyond nations' borders, allowing even small new religious movement to engage in overseas activities, and it can be lead into the new unseen religious development. By the use of social media, ideas and information can mobilize and transported that can be expanded the group theories. Globalization transforms the generic religion into a world system of competing and conflicting religions. This process of institutional specialization has transformed local, diverse, and fragmented cultural practices into the recognizable system of a religion. So that the globalization is the big impact in our religious practices and beliefs. But the question is religion that cause of global conflict, or it will be the solution or having a global peace? So the relationship between the religion and global conflict and having global peace is very important to analyze and understand in the field of international politics. Religion has been regarded as new sources of class between and among people with different and even similar beliefs. Some political movements rely heavily on their religion. There is conflict in the world because of the many greedy for powerful in the world. They use religion for evil deeds. For example, when candidates are campaigning for political platform, they use religion to gather votes. They using religions for their own sake. One reason when there's global conflict because some people are not reflecting in one's belief. For example, Roman Catholic and Iglesia ni Cristo. There is a conflict between these two because they are arguing about their beliefs. They are slandering each other non-stop. And there will be the global peace if man believes in God, not religion. Because only God can save us all. Not religion can save a man. So what man should think is the importance of religion to know the word God, not to take advantage of others. And I believe that even we have different belief practices of our religions, we must respect each belief and don't use differences in global conflict. Always remember that if you are believe in religion, don't compare statistical to other religion on how people are believing in that religion. Respect begets respect. And that's the end of my report. The next reporter will continue the report.
Hello guys, I'm Nor Alaina Grigoritin, and now we will going to discuss about the impact of globalization. And take note, we have 3 impacts of globalization. The first one is flattens cultural differences. Second, erodes local customs and beliefs. And the third one, spreads secular capitalist way of life. So now we will going to discuss or explain the 3 impact of globalization. Number 1, flattens cultural differences. So because of globalization, somehow there are unity of individual despite of having different religion and cultures. And number 2, erodes local customs and beliefs. We can classify this impact of globalization as a negative impact since it gradually destroys local customs and beliefs. Spread secular capitalist way of life, the number 3. When we say secular, it denotes attitudes, activities, or other things that have no religious or spiritual basis. Religion has entered the information age and has globalized at accelerating rates in the methods religions use for teaching and in belief systems. We have a tools of uniting people all over the world on religious basis, and these are the books, movies, cell phone apps, social networks, special internet sites, religious schools. It is now possible for any religion to spread beyond national borders, allowing even small new religious movements to engage in overseas activities and leading to new unseen religious developments. And now, let's talk about what is religion nowadays. It is no longer a set of beliefs that people arrive be reflection. It is a symbolic system which carries our identity and marks out social, ethnic, and other boundaries. It marks crucial moments in the life cycle with rituals. It provides powerful mechanisms for psychological and social tension. We all know that religion plays a role in many of major conflicts going on at various levels. Furthermore, religion plays also important role on people's lives worldwide and has become one of the major ways people connect each other across the globe. Religion provides a moral compass explaining how we should act in various life situations and especially how we treat each other. It provides us belonging and a sense of community. In the conclusion, globalization has a great impact on religion. As people and cultures move across the globe, as ideas are mobilized and transported by media technology, the religious globalization will go on and on. It has pros and cons. People should cope up with the flow of info and choose their own and peaceful way.
Hello, good day everyone. So this is the continuation of our report, but by the way, I am Miss Limuela Lantingan Salinda, and today I was tasked to report about the role of religion today and the role of religion in promoting world peace. So let's start. First we have is the role of religion today. Religion plays an important role in people's lives worldwide and plays a role in many of the major conflicts going on at the various levels. Hornby 2006 defines religious conflicts as a situation in which religious adherents are involved in a serious disagreement or argument with one religious group or another. So I know that we are aware about some of the major conflicts that we actually experience, not just today but also dati pa, ganon. So the first one that we have some of the examples of religious conflicts po ito. So the violence between the Israelis and the Palestinians today is an example of religious and a political conflict, and also the conflict between Muslims and Catholics in the Philippines. So I have watched this movie and I guess it is an example of a religious conflict. So it is entitled A Youth Persecution, and kung gusto nyo pong tingnan, so just watch the movie para mas clear po sa inyo yung example. So maybe nasabi ko na this is an example of religious conflict because the young man here is parang he was persecuted dahil sa kanyang paniniwala. So that's it. So now let's move on. So the second is religion plays an important role in people's lives worldwide. So bakit nga ba niya sinabi na yung religion it plays an important role in people's lives worldwide? So let's move on. So religion ideally serves several functions and it gives meaning and purpose to life, reinforces social unity and stability, serves as an agent of social control and promotes psychological and physical well-being, and may motivate people to work for positive and social change. So religion really plays an important role especially in our lives. So because it strengthens us, the individuals, families, and the society to work as a whole. And also, it is a way to communicate and understand each and every people in the community or in the society. So now let's move on to the second one, which is the role of religion in promoting world peace. Venkay Damananda of Malaysia wrote an essay of the title above and the essay produced here. Religion has a definite role to play in the people's search for world peace. So, the preamble of UNESCO's constitution says that since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed. That means that if one wishes to have peace of mind, one must also construct defenses of peace in one's own mind. Next, the world cannot have peace until nations and peace begins to reduce their selfish desires for more and more material possessions, give up their racial arrogance, and eliminate their madness for worldly power. So, in the context of today's spiritual need, religionists should work together earnestness and not in jealous competition with one another. So, through that, people are free and able to interact with one another and can pick up the similarities and differences from others' culture, and more developed economies are influenced by the world peace. And also, we should help each and every one, and we will work as one to have a better nation and to achieve a world peace. And we all know that religion not only inspires and guides people, but also it provides them with the necessary tools to reduce greed with the practice of charity, to overcome hate and aversion with the loving kindness, and to remove ignorance with the development of wisdom and insight in order to understand the true nature of beings and see things as they really are. So showing kindness, respect, love, being sociable and friendly, and doing good are the best ways to practice to have a world peace. And that's all about the role of religion today and the role of religion in promoting the world peace. So now let's move on to our next topic, which will be discussed by the next presenter. So thank you so much and God bless.